Early December 2025 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. I'll probably use the introduction that was shot over a week ago because it's roughly okay apart from clearer skies. I'll probably start with a quick summary, if you call it that, of some of the points to give you a flavour, and then run into the standard introduction. Just a minute of photos and clips to give you a flavour of the content of the video. Yes, eating well, like lunch at the Blend and Brew, and dinner in La Sorrentina, like the Tricolore, and of course you sometimes get interrupted by unexpected visits of lady police officers. Yeah, I'll repeat that clip. You'll see the detail later on. And of course the other place, work gets on in the garden, of course, on Homer and the flatulent fairy. And but one forces oneself to go for a long walk sometimes, particularly when one makes mistakes, to attend a meeting in the church. Everybody can track where Robin goes, including time in the Comrades Club, wherever he's going. And of course the Flame Kebab, where, yes, I was caught dancing there. Yeah, my quality of dancing is not so bad. But again, there's more detail later on. And of course you can blame Juba for that, like for most of those AI clips. So that's the end of that little summary. There's a car gone past. So here's the standard introduction. And I warn you, it will be rough cut. So, this is where we live, at 22 Armitage Court in Sunninghill. Warning signs about fear-scarred cats. You'll certainly see them on the photo trails. You might even get a glimpse on the video. And this is the spot known as Robin's Corner, where GPS was tested from the late 1980s at this spot here, marked by this bit of garden sculpture that June got Robin for a Christmas present a few years ago. Or was it a birthday present? I can't remember. Anyhow, that's the oak tree that sprang up from Lakon. I think it was while we were here, and we moved back permanently in before 1980. Yeah, a lot more leaves to be cleared, but we've made a start. So it's better than it was before, believe it or not. Yes, accommodation for owls, which they never took up, but previous photo trails video shows the pussycats making use. Here's Snoopy's robot boat to cross the Atlantic, skippered by Snoopy the Viking. And there's a problem still to be fixed, which is well documented, but this morning I switched it on again and it is running, but it won't run for very long before it stops. But that's all well documented, and been no time to work on that for years now. Anyhow, where are we? Yes, the women are out shopping, and so let's walk down the drive. Glimpse of the bicycle that I've still not taken onto the road, needs some work doing on it. This is an old project from years ago, which are the cat forts, but it causes some amusement to point them out. It's to hide the dustbins, of course. Beware, cats on patrol. So sometimes the pussycats, because there's also Bentley from across the road, hang out here, but the repair is needed on these cat forts, and of course there's also armed mice. And yes, we have warning signs, beware of a mouse, but it should be mice because there's quite a few of them. Yes, lots of it disrepair, but nothing compared with all the other work that he's doing. So there's the camper that June decided to get. I may as well point out the battle damage on it, which added value from my point of view. Battle damage. June said Robin did it. Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. Yeah, you can just about read it. I think I need to improve that a bit. Yeah, so yeah, cameras everywhere. That one picks up and sends little messages. There's someone at your front door, or something similar. There's the peanut feeder. Foxes come all the way through the year, and sometimes they share the food with, which is the peanuts, with hedgehogs and deer, and it depends on the time of the year. So yes, there's the flatulent fairy, and it may go up a tree this year. Got no lack of trees, don't know yet. So dare I go into the house yet? I must emphasise that what I say, reading out these signs, are jokes, because people will say, you daren't say that. So early on it says, yeah, it's cobwebs here, look. It says, closed circuit TV, hidden TV cameras inside and outside the house. Sound and video is monitored in local houses and elsewhere. There's another one. No trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. Yes, there's one camera there. I often ask people to smile and wave to it. And yes, I've pointed out the flatulent fairy before. Now, this probably here is the most important sign, because it's not just cameras. But first I'll point out, that's my study through there. And it says, do not disturb. I am disturbed enough already. But this sign is by far the most important, to just mean people take heed when coming onto the property. Home of mad ex-nature scientist Robin Lovelock, beware of web cameras and water squirters loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Just a joke, of course. Right, I think it's safe to go into the house. So, with any luck, the guard cat Toady is up to mischief somewhere else. Otherwise, he likes to play fight. So, yes, that's the untidy games room. And we've made a start, even though you wouldn't realise it, but it appears on the photo trails, in starting to clear this junk up so it can be used more. Well, June would like to better use it as a dining table here, but of course it always was a games room, including a half-size snooker table under there. Lots of other things. So it's on the list. Lots of other things. That's June's, not sure what you call it, study corner, but of course everything is full of junk. Some junk can be thrown, but quite a lot of it just needs to be put in the right place. And of course Robin is often told where to stick things. So, right, pop into the lounge now, and yes, that's Robin's naughty corner, where he tends to relax, watch the closed circuit TV or have a doze. And yes, that's the cheap Lenovo PC, whatever it was, next to nothing. And what's on the screen at the moment is the tracker that June carries, and it shows that she and Samantha are at not the Martin Heron School of Dance, but they've gone to the Superstore, but that was the last position that came up. They probably only just arrived there. Yes, those alerts related to the Ring camera that you saw earlier, but there's cameras of all sorts. So this is the lounge, and we're now going out for the what may be the more important part. This door's sticky, need to sort that out. So a lot of this work hasn't been done, and of course a lot of these videos are for the purpose of anybody who might be able to help with property maintenance in the very broadest sense. Now,
yes, that can be trivial things. Well, trivial is probably not the right word, like mowing a lawn, but mostly they're, certainly for us, for years and probably for years to come, it's tidying up and putting things in the right place. Now, for the purpose of this introduction, I'm topping up the pond, which I've not been doing for, well, several weeks now. There's lots of little projects here, like the pea in Brussels boys, he's blocked up, needs fixing. Lots of things, very untidy. That was another one of him. And the pond maybe worked on again this winter, because winter's the time to clear all the wildlife out, including plants and fishes, in order to find leaks and fix them. Made a bit of progress, but it's still a problem. So that's the pond overflowing. We may as well have a quick glance around the edge here. Yeah, that's June's greenhouse. There is lots of junk. That's June's junk. She can decide what's to be thrown away there. Yes, sorry about the politically incorrect artwork on the water butt. That's where the pussycats come in and out. That's where it's a practical place for us to keep materials at the moment, like plastic piping, wood, and various other odds and ends. And of course, if you carry on through here, it comes out to where the dustbins are kept and the front that you see. So it's all a health and safety thing, but or risk, because it's so easy to trip over things, and hopefully it'll make things better. But there's certainly less leaves here than there were a week ago. But right, we're coming back here. Yes, another water butt. So this patch here needs tidying, but it's all a matter of doing things in the sensible priority and order. So that's the telescope that Robin made the optics for when he was a boy, still at school. No time to do anything on that, and very low priority compared with all the other things. Yes, I put that banister in, make it a bit safer for some people walking down, although these steps are not really wheelchair accessible at the moment. There's a bit of garden, there's another fort that goes round. We'll go down here next, I think. Yes, so there's the water comes off the roofs and into the top pond, and then that overflows through the stream into the second pond, just here. Yes, it's even got a little duck house there, not the ducks have taken up on it. And that overflows, and it's not doing it yet because I only turned the tap on, whatever it was, an hour or two ago, into the, well, June doesn't like it being called a third pond. It's really a reservoir for the bog garden, and that's all worked very well. Yes, that's 4 candles. Some people will remember that. And yes, more sky opened up with trees cut back. Bird feeders, you'll see lots of those. There's 5 of them down here. And yes, lovely place to sit here. Where are we? Oh yes, I think I pointed it. Oh yes, my tatty shoes, and that's quite a nice plant container. You would have seen all this stuff. The box where we keep the bird feed, boxes of, or bags of peanuts and various other feeders, and dried worms there. So the routine every morning, while I'm fit to do it, is to top up the bird feeders. Yeah, so I've got no lack of space to put the leaves or other wooden twigs type junk. There's a lot of leaves that were put there a few days ago. They actually had a rare hour of work by Samantha, June and Robin. And there's junk that needs tidying up. There's some important things like ladders tucked away. Snapshot of the garden. A bit more than a snapshot, isn't it? Oh yes, the shed. So a recent thing we used was the leaf blower. Call it that. That's a chainsaw. A few other important tools there, and a place to keep them. Don't mess around with locking it. You'd have to be a complete idiot to come onto the property with mischievous intentions, but there are idiots around, of course. So, where June hangs the washing. And of course, the important thing is, where can we keep things? Lots of leaves here, so no lack of work to be done on that. Right, lawn hasn't been mown for months. If we were at the stage of mowing the lawn, there's a lawnmower, a fly mow that's electric. There's a strimmer. So, and a few other garden tools. So where are we going to get the electric? Well, we come round towards the workshop area, past the summer house that Robin calls his laboratory, and there we go. Extension lead and power to plug in. And while we're here, lots of space for putting tools in the workshop area, including a vise, all solar powered and things. But arrangement can be done, some stuff's just been thrown down there, to tidy things and put the same things in the same places. So for example, hammers, files, clamps, spanners, etc. So it makes it easier for anybody to find things. Yeah, no lack of saws there. And then of course occasionally one will say, we've got plenty of those, like saws, let's throw some away, but throw away the ones that are not blunt, or rather throw away the ones that are blunt. Right, coming back, there's the bug palace, there's the sundial. Yes, all stuff comes under the heading of garden maintenance. And by garden maintenance, it's a very broad subject. It comes to all the contents. You could even argue people as well, where maintenance relates to their health. And I think that's pretty well it. So, most of you would have switched off by now, so this is the point where we can go into the photo trails, long photo trails. So I warn you, they will be long photo trails. Monday the 1st of December 2025, and I'm starting with a process version of the video clip that Juba sent me. That's the clip. I've removed the music that's copyrighted, but you can see the tool that was used up in the top right hand corner, and I'm putting the last frame frozen there so you get a chance to look at the contents. And quite fascinating in terms of the source video that was used and modelling of the face, like my side view. Clever stuff. And that's the culprit. Juba sent it to me. That's the second AI video he'd sent. So now into the photos in the order shot on that day, starting at 10:10 in the morning. Yes, video uploading, the late November video. And yes, 10:10 there. Temperature creeping up to us at 9 centigrade. And yeah, usual snaps around the garden, and just showing what it was like on that day.
And yes, that's the one of the computers, and going through an update. Updates are underway. There's a later version that with all these things, later versions don't always do all the things that earlier versions did. So what's happening now? Probably June is taking me out, and I'm guessing, yes, into South Ascot, through South Ascot, and it's past the Swimley pub, and work going on above the one stop. There, the photo went off by accident there. Past the station, and where I'm going is to the Ascot Library. So June parks and waits in the car. She didn't want to particularly come in. I didn't take hardly any photos in there, I don't think. Into the library, and there was already the PCSO meeting going. I touch base with June occasionally, and yes, cameras everywhere looking at whoever's in there. Yeah, so I will mention there were a couple of guys there, and I only had a few minutes. That's all that was needed with PCSOs. We're off now through, yes, rain all the time. There's the old courthouse. So out of Ascot, past what was the Wells pub. We're on the way to Lightwater for me to have a blood test, or sample taken for a blood test from my GP surgery at Lightwater, and use the opportunity to take pictures along the way, including the delays. And it's an exercise in taking photographs in the smartphone under what may not be ideal conditions. So yes, looks like we're about to cross the motorway. There we are. And yeah, I'm getting a bit confused here. Where are we going, or what route? Perhaps this was the route. Yeah. Past some fairly grand places, of course. Or grand places that have been made into apartments. No, silly me. We started off by lots of confusion. That was a trip over to pay my £5 sub for the Chopham Common model flyers. No, the trip to Lightwater surgery was later. Silly bobbin. And there's Toadie. And Samantha. Oh, she's up and dressed. How about that? Right, 10 to 1. Video's still uploading. That's that late November. That's uploading onto YouTube, so the processing had been done. But of course, uploading and then YouTube processing it takes some time. So, where next? Now, it looks like I'm taking a walk into the village and past the Comrades Club, and I'm guessing I'm going into the Blend and Brew. Yes, that's where I went to have my usual coffee. There's a glimpse of Tyler and Abhishek, and there's the lovely meal. And I did chat for a moment with one or two people, but now back into the Comrades Club. Oh yes, there's Jo coming out, and she told me what the arrangements were with the tree. They're going to switch it on basically when the Comrades Club's open. So get switched on at midday. And right, this is June picked me up from there, which is what we'd arranged. And now there's the trip over to Lightwater surgery. Yeah, past a few landmarks. And under the motorway there. Over the stream, over the dual carriageway, and
actually she was able to park round the back of the surgery, so that was convenient. Bit blurred, that one. And yeah, it looks like I didn't take any pictures in the surgery, but the blood test went very smoothly, so that was good. So we're on our way back now, and a few landmarks along the route. That's the A30, and turn right near the Windmill Pub, and on the whatever the road is, over the border into Berkshire, past the Beresford Hotel, and into Armitage Court, which is all on Street View now since April of 2025. So we get home. Yes, there's the robot boat, and so into the house. Yeah, it's all boring stuff. Looks like Samantha's coming down probably for lunch. Oh no, couldn't be that time. Right, that was the YouTube processing, and it's done it. And yes, quite happy with the picture it shows for the title picture. And in fact I ended up playing all of the, whatever it was, 1.3 hours. Only went off to sleep once. Yeah, that's looking at the tracker. Anybody could see where Robin was throughout the day, or any time. So that's the visit to the surgery at Lightwater. You can see how long I was there. It was a very quick and efficient visit. Back home just here. Right, 7:10 in the evening. Looks like I'm thinking of going down into the village. So June's watching something on the telly and having a snack there, but no, I'm going to eat in the village. I think that was my decision. And of course it's a Monday. Yes, you can see it's dark. There's the Christmas tree lit up outside the Comrades Club. And so I'm going down to the other end of the village. Yes, Christmas decorations are all beginning to light up now, to the Raj Fuge. Yes, there's the elephants in the window. Had my usual in the Raj Fuge. Yes, 2 onion barges with a bit of salad. And look at that as the price, £5.55, including the small glass of Pepsi or whatever it was. I obviously gave her a bit of a tip on that. Oh yes, like that bit of sculpture outside the locksmith. So yes, rain held off enough, and I took a picture of that for the record. A couple of events coming up in a few days, and then making my way home. Yeah, everything's damp, but it wasn't pouring down too much, so I didn't get too wet. Into the house. Yes, June's watching, I think that's a historical drama, not sure. 5 to 9 in the evening. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was. Oh, he's got home, just here. Oh yes, Samantha got back from tennis. She played tennis in the evening, apparently wasn't too wet. Oh, that's the result of having my blood test done, with a little plaster stuck on it. Yes, still that, and multitasking, playing video games. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 2nd of December 2025, which are mostly, or many, photos from my long walk, unnecessarily long walk, to All Souls Church in South Ascot. And really, because Robin made a wrong turn in and walked a lot further than he needed to have done, stupid boy. Anyhow, June picked me up and got me back again. So here's all the photos in the order shot. Yes, processing of the video from the day before, including that AI video that Juba took. I had to find the right photo of him to include, so he got suitable credit for it, or blame.
usual routine, going out into the garden, 12:05 there. What's that? Nudging 8 degrees centigrade. Not too bad at all. And snapshot of the garden at that point. And probably usual routine of going down to top up the bird feeders. Lovely blue sky. And yes, not much different there, because we had cleared up some leaves, so it was a lot better than it was. Oh yes, I found that branch looked as though it had been chucked over the fence, which is good, and put it in the right place. Topped up the bird feeders, all 5 of them. Had a lovely bit of sun getting to that spot now. Lots of leaves still to be picked up, and we made a start, but it's the old story. If somebody can help, that's great. And yes, what's next? Not a lot. So that's the usual routine in the morning. I say the morning, even if it's the afternoon by the time other things are done. And into the lounge. Oh yeah, that processing was complete from the day before. Now looking at the walk. Yes, so I can go down to the Blend and Brew and have something to eat, and then maybe within half an hour, it's no more than that, for a walk through to the church for the meeting. All Souls Church. I've got to pronounce that correctly. All Souls Church. It sounds a bit like some other word, I don't know, Our Souls or something. Anyhow, looks like I'm off down to the village. Lovely blue sky, and I recall seeing the red kite. We still have one swooping around. Yeah, there's a nice picture of it with a plane in the background. Past the Comrades Club with their Christmas tree. Yes, that's still not been put up yet. Fence knocked down. Into the Blend and Brew. So enjoyed my coffee first of all, and then of course the full meal came along. Enjoyed that, and now I thought, right, I'll do that walk. And it started off fairly simple alongside the railway, and it would have been simple, but it was still simple. It was just much longer than I need to have been. And somewhere or other, yes, I was okay at this stage, but anybody checking could see at one point I turned off left far too early. That could have been it. And the stupid boy, yes, it wasn't until I got to the end I thought, oh goodness me, yes, you stupid boy. So I'll take whatever was the best route at that stage, which was down to the main road. And yeah, and along the main road, I call it the main road, there's a white bus coming past. So usual thing, take a few photos of landmarks along the way. Some places have been there for some time and some have been modernised. Right, into South Ascot. Elderly people. What, me? Yes, there's the stream going under. Not a very good picture of it, but marks a boundary. And yeah, so making my way, yeah, edge of the playing field, get to the Swinley pub, and probably going along Victoria Road there. Have to look on a map, wouldn't I? And there's Church Road. Now, as it happened, by taking Church Road, I came out of the back, but it was interesting because I went past some other landmarks of importance. So I got there okay, and that time, yes, it wasn't even 25 past. So I made it in time. And didn't take many photos, of course, but ladies were having their coffee morning there with their arts and craft. So I took her 2 photos, and I chatted to one of the ladies, and I also bought a product there as a Christmas present for June without her knowing. And June picked me up. Oh yes, speaking to one of the ladies, they said, oh yeah, I think he did turn up. So that was Keith. PCSO Keith had turned up. I think the email said both of them, but I don't know how long he was there. He certainly wasn't there until past. Don't blame him. Anyhow, back home, that's that test tank for Snoopy hasn't been used now. I hid that away in a suitable place. Don't tell June. I doubt she watches these videos before it's important, which is probably opening her Christmas presents. Looked at the tracker, and that shows exactly where I went, including where I went wrong. You stupid boy. Yeah, so that was the last leg of the journey, and June picked me up and brought me back to 22 Armitage Court, just here. Yeah, I looked at the rain radars, thought, yeah, was it going to be dry enough for a walk down? It's getting later. They had a bit of a doze, but not for very long. And June's rustling up food for herself. Oh yeah, pointed out that, or I noticed it, and that's been outstanding for years. And she said, oh yes, the bit of wood that had come falling down was, looking at the other sources of rain information. So that job's on the list to be done at some stage, but that's a very easy job. Odd job for a suitable handyman. Right, that's where I'm off, looking for somewhere to eat next. So, leave the house, and yeah, it was pretty dry. Yeah, the roads are wet from a patch we'd had earlier. And yes, past the Congress Club, they've got their Christmas tree lit up now. And into La Sorrentina, yes, that's where I went. Oh, they got their things. There was no arancini, and but I did have the tricolore, and he insisted on treating me. He said, "Do you want some bread?" I said, "Bread." Well, I didn't realise he'd include the olives as well. Anyhow, making my way back, probably popped into the Comrades Club for a little while. Yes, spent a little bit of time there. And Adriana came over briefly to watch the football, so I managed to catch him on telephoto, as he does of me. And yeah, making my way back home. Because a lot of these things, there's tests of how well one can use an unfamiliar camera, or even a familiar camera. Right, so what's the time there? 9:45 in the evening. Yes, anybody could see Robin got home. Just here. Oh, decided to treat myself to an ice cream cornet and listen to the Radio 4 news, and attended to by Toadie. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 3rd of December 2025. And yes, the main event was starting to put Homer up. The three of us. June, Samantha and Robin. And the flatulent fairy. And only just made a start on it. Oh yes, another little job. Overdue for years. And yes. So these are probably the photos in the order shot now. And yeah, usual routine of going out the best I can, and that coincided with June topping up one of the bird feeders. Temperature, that looks pretty good. What's that, 6 degrees centigrade? And of course I'm off on my usual thing of just taking a few snaps of the garden on that day and topping up the bird feeders down the end. And yeah, it was quite dry. Oh yes, I put that there to remind me a job to be done, and that is the loo paper holder from our bathroom upstairs. And simple job, needed to be done. And yes, I was about to get the food out of the bird feeders, and of course Toadies decided to take that position. So I thought, start lifting it, and of course he was starting to play. And he eventually, yes, took a few snaps off him first. Gradually lifted it up and he decided, well, perhaps I will get off. Yes. So I got the bird feed, and yeah, Toadie goes sloping off up the garden, and top up the bird feeders, all 5 of them. Yes, just a record. Quite a lot of those leaves we had cleared away a few days earlier, but still lots more to clear up. A lovely blue sky. That was the thing I'd put there so I'd remember when I walk back up the garden. And the problem seemed to be a grub screw that needed removing, so I went into the workshop area where the right tools were, and that was an Allen key. And June said, perhaps it's an Allen key. I think she'd looked at it, and anyhow, I didn't get anywhere with that, so I thought, perhaps I'll drill it out. But by luck, there, I ended up actually unscrewing what was there and found that it was a standard thread, and I had a bolt for it. So problem solved very easily, by luck rather than judgment. So making my way back into the house. Yes, processing of the video for the day before. Yes, there, June, I've managed to do it and put it in place, and there you go, does the job. You can always use a shorter bolt if you don't want that bolt sticking out. Right, looks like that processing been done, so I put a commentary on it as best I can, like I'm doing for this one. And now that's the job which we thought the flatulent fairy could go out near Homer on the front lawn. And yeah, June and Samantha come out, and we start the long job of getting all the bits, and of course refreshing our memory of things, like what works, what doesn't work. And of course we'd done sort of temporary fixes which were good enough last year, of getting a mains pump. Oh yes, while the garage door was open, I thought I'd run the car engine, keep that battery up. And then June and I decided to take a trip out, and that's because we thought, well, perhaps we can get a cheap Christmas tree from Longacres. And that was June's idea, and it turned out a very good one. Yes, I like that. As we went in, Long 1 was the reg on that. So made our way through Longacres, and there we go, £14 basically, and that includes them wrapping it up for us, make it a bit easier to get in the car. So wheel it back to the car. Wasn't too difficult, wasn't raining, so could have the hood down. Quite an easy job, relatively speaking. Making our way back home, out of Longacres, down the A30, and turn left to Sunninghill near the Windmill pub, and past a few grand places, over the border into Berkshire, past the Beresteed, into Armitage Court, arrive at number 22 with Homer laying down there ready. So now, as a lot of these jobs are tricky, and they're definitely 2 or 3 handed, getting things in the right position. There, it looks like the car's been nicely charged up, so I can turn that off. Oh, there's Toadie, decided to take an interest. What's he going to do? Oh, that's a surprise. Jump up on June's car and prowl around on top of it. Get muddy footprints everywhere, I expect. Hello, Toadie. Yes, that's what June's cleaning off now. So we spent quite a lot of time, and then June had a flick knife. I beg your pardon, whatever you call those sorts of knives, folding up. Now there was the record of the price on it, and that was a fix, not a very good one, which is June's hairdryer. Because, oh yes, I checked at the rain radar. I don't know why it was deciding to. Anyhow, it did give us warning that there was some rain coming in, even though little showers, so fingers crossed we might just still get on with work. Yeah, the closed circuit TV, and
I did adjust the mirror at some stage. Right, so that's June's using her smartphone as a light. There is a torch indoors, but there's looks like a full moon coming up. Yeah, that photo should have been rotated. A bit of duct tape. I decided the main problem, reminding oneself from a year ago, was air was coming out through what had been the original fan that doesn't work at the very bottom. Very large area, so you need to block that. And not sure what it's there in the photo trail, but I basically stuck a load of sticky tape over it. Duct tape. Right. Anyhow, doesn't look too bad. He's not that well flated, and the flatulent fairy is roughly in position, but everything needs adjusting. Put tools back in the right place. That was the screwdriver from the lounge. Sorry, the games room. Yes, it's obviously quite late now because it's got darker. Oh yes, I was checking the lights coming on down the end, and one light wasn't coming on, and I diagnosed that when I got a chance to see it properly. That one wasn't coming on. It's because all the bird feed that had been spilling over onto it was blocking the solar panel, so it wasn't charging up. Anyhow, that might be alright. Right, back into the house. Closed circuit TV. Yes, I thought that camera could be, yes, it's hard work, isn't it? Could be adjusted. Oh yes, I ordered that. Cost very little. A hairdryer just for the job of inflating Homer, and don't need the heater for it. When it arrives next day, which should be today, could end up disconnecting the heating element. We just want the blower fan. Right, there's me adjusting things. Yes, I've moved the camera up so it gets a better view of Homer, and there's a cobweb I saw there, so I went back and cleared the cobweb. Yes, so obviously need to look at it daylight, and there was a courier arrived, and yes, he was caught there. Now what's that package? Oh, something June had bought. A little illuminated cushion with a robin on it. Right, went out again. That was to adjust the mirror a bit further up, so it got a better view. Looks like I'm deciding to take a walk at about 10 to 7 down into the village. I would imagine that would be to have a meal. Yes, past a rather deflated Homer. He needs a decent pump to pump air into him, but that'll happen in due course. Past the Comrades Club with its own Christmas tree, into La Sorrentina. I had been prompted by Adriano sending me some stuff. There's Ella in the background. Yes, arancini. And by coincidence, Charlie came in, and yeah, he hadn't checked out arancini before. I let him have a taster of mine. Right, back into the Comrades Club with the Christmas tree lit up. Just a little while there, guys enjoying themselves. And yes, Christmas decorations are up now in the Comrades Club. Right, looks like I'm back out on my way home. Yes, as I said before, often a test of the camera under different conditions. Right, there's deflated Homer and the flatulent fairy. Hopefully they'll be looking a lot better. And June had already switched on the lights, and she's enjoying some TV thing or other. Only 5 to 9 in the evening. Oh yes, anybody could see where Robin was. Yeah, and he got back home. Just here. She's still watching that. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Thursday, the 4th of December 2025. Haven't got a better picture than that, I'm afraid. It's Homer. Still tidying up needed, but
on sentry duty outside the front. And let's go into the photos in the order shot. Yes, checking the closed circuit TV in daylight, and doesn't look too bad. And yeah, the usual, taking a few snaps of the video processing for the day before, going out into the garden, checking at 2211 temperature, 6 degrees centigrade. Yes, obviously not freezing. And making my way down the garden. I'll be topping up the bird feeders, and got a record of how many leaves still need to be cleared up, even though we did make progress. Yeah, there's a bird feeder. Not all the food had gone, but topped up a bit more. And what else? Not much else really, same old stuff. Yeah, making my way back up the garden. And the patio area. Yes, it was a little bit rain coming on, I think. Not only a little bit. Yeah, so that video is processed, so put a commentary on it, like I'm doing for this one. And yeah, let's back things up on the removable disk drives. Oh yes, of course it's pub lunch today, and Stuart arrives as chauffeur, and there were lots of things all scheduled to happen at the same time, but luckily it all worked out okay. Like Gary was coming to service a car, and the fishmonger was coming, so we went to the cricketers at Bagshot, and yes, with the Christmas tree and presents, and yeah, enjoyable conversation. And of course there's a record of what we ate. Several of us had the curry, and that looks like steak and egg and chips. And yeah, time to go. And of course it'll be back to Richard and Faye's for coffee, but I do my usual routine and pop in for typically 5 or 10 minutes, mostly to see if there's emails, so at least I'm warned in case I get a phone call. Yes, took the opportunity to take a snap or two of the flatulent fairy, work to be done on that. And looks like June's having her lunch, and it only takes a moment to take some photos. So yeah, I looked at the tracker, anybody could see where Robin was, got back home and where he'd been, or rather at the time they would have seen where I was. Yeah, there we go, at the cricketers, and back home to 22 Armitage Court, just here. But of course next is across the road, so that was off over there and looked past Homer, and in fact June joined us, and we spent quite a time chatting until he came back out. You can see it's darker, so sunset by then I should think. Yes, photo with Homer. He's a bit deflated, but I've ordered a pump. That's the Snoopy's test tank. And back into the lounge, and yes, there's Robin, his track, walking back, just here. Yes, untidy games room, but we made a start on it a few days ago, so hopefully that will be clear by Christmas. Down the garden, because yes, now all 3 lights are on, because I had cleared the bird food that had gone on to that one, but then again it only stayed on a few minutes, but its progress is needed a bit more cleaning and a bit more sun on it. But record of what's up there, if you look up the branches, not many leaves on them now. So making my way back up the garden. After dark, this is where various lights will come on, obviously inside the house. And that's the PII light near the greenhouse. Coming along to the patio area and the top pond. Yes, that's a nice little present that Samantha got me some time ago now. into the, where is it? Looks like I'm going into the games room. Yes, a record of all the stuff that needs to be sorted out, put in the right place, or thrown, or given away. Oh yes, that was interesting conversation, and spoke with Roger. It was to do with the magazine, and that was a major topic of conversation during the coffee. And right, full moon. Of course, I need to use the settings right to get a better picture. That picture should have been rotated. And there's Bentley. He'd come in for probably dinner. Oh yes, that's the delivery of the, that was caught on closed circuit TV. And there's the food that the fishmonger delivered earlier. We saw the fishmonger coming in when we left in Stuart's car. Right, looks like I'm off down to the village to eat. And yes, past the Comrades Club, into one stop to get some cash. I was completely running out of cash. And make my way back to the Flame Kebab. Had my usual cheeseburger with onions and a cup of coffee. Then into the Comrades Club, relax and chatted there. I could have taken more photos than I did, but Adriano joined me, and they had a pool match going on with a local team. This is the Comrades Club versus the local team, because Charlie had mentioned it earlier when I'd spoken to him, and I thought that deserved a bit of research, which is where that place was, and I'd looked on my smartphone and got it wrong, but anyhow, we'll get to the pictures soon. I thought it was just off the Swinley Road with new housing, but it was looking on a small screen. I'd misread it. So the Woodcutters was the name of the team, and that's the probably a combination of a pub and a social centre. And we probably have visited that place, and it was near the pond, which I remember many years ago. Gary, I think, used to test his boats. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 5th of December 2025. Yes, thought that photo best. It's Homer. Needs work on him still, but he's in the right position now. So now the photo's in the order shot. Soon after 11:30 in the morning, processing a video from the day before. Out into the garden, yes, temperature nudging 5 degrees, and usual boring pictures showing a snapshot of what the garden was like at that time on that day. Yeah, a few leaves around, but most of them had been cleared up some days ago. And down to top up the bird feeders, all 5 of them. That's a bit low, but it still had food in it, so topped them up. All of them. Yes, that's a bit cleaner now, so the sun will get to the solar panel. And that one is a bit messy, so needed to clean that one up. And so hopefully get more sun, and that lamp will keep going. That has been so far. Nice blue sky. Working my way back up the garden. Yeah, glimpse across at the summer house. And coming up to the patio. Yes, lots of untidiness around everywhere. Into the lounge. And there's Toadie deciding to have whatever you call that. Brunch, I suppose. Looks like the women are possibly off to tennis. Homer. Oh yes, that hairdryer had arrived, so the one that we had put in as a Vicks or Friggs a year ago, the hairdryer looked as though it would be a better solution. One of the problems was simply that how you fix it in. Yeah, then also, if you're not careful, leaves get on the inlet. So it's a question of it being securely in place, well covered from rain, and we did have rain forecasts come through. So work needs doing, and the flatulent fairy was in a terrible state, so I thought bring it indoor, especially since we've got rain. Yes, there's the rain radar from various sources, and so the not exactly a work to be doing out in the garden, especially with electrical stuff. So looking at trackers, that's probably checking on the women. Yes, they're at tennis, and they're on their way back past the fire station, and that matches up with Robin's scribbles in his diary of when they were expected to leave and when they come back. So they're practically back. Yes, I go out just as they're arriving, and yes, Samantha doesn't like photos, does she? And yeah, so wondering what to do about Homer. Yes, the tracker shows them back, and they're looking at things, probably diaries related to tennis or whatever. Yeah, so I'm probably off up to the village. Yes, I am, or down to the village, probably past the Comrades Club and the Christmas tree lit up, and opposite Tesco's is the Blend and Brew. So force myself to go in there, coffee, and of course a nice meal. There we go, Robin's usual, as they call it. And now probably into the Comrades Club. Yeah, that fence is still knocked down there. And of course spent quite a lot of the day. Oh, there's a glimpse of yeah, I've got to be careful taking photos, but I'm sure they won't mind that one. And yeah, into La Sorrentina. Oh yes, my usual. Arancini was available that day. And oh yes, they changed the chairs, because the couple of chairs were very rickety, and of course they get so busy in there. Oh, that's looking across at my reflection. So where I'm off to now, back into the Comrades Club, of course. And one of the reasons being there is that PCSO, what you could call it, a pub crawl. I decided what it was probably there was just that they could have made it a bit clearer, that the email was just letting people know rather than expecting people to meet them. But they probably decided just to walk around local pubs, and of course the weather was pretty awful. I went back after the rain had stopped, so it was a good idea if it was just to walk around, typically me and people outside pubs, perhaps having a smoke or something. That picture got rotated by accident. Yes, and I noticed that the hairdryer had got knocked out, and yeah, another smartphone rotated picture by accident. So the tracker shows I got back home, and there's the closed circuit TV. So I thought, wow, I wonder if it shows something like foxes nudging around. Well, I couldn't see anything. My best guess it was just the wind. So time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Saturday the 6th of December 2025, starting with a clip of me dancing filmed by Juba. That comes in full further on. Anyhow, let's go into the photos in the order shot. Starting at whatever that was, 11:15 in the morning. Yes, processing of the video for the day before. Going out into the garden, 11:15, 9 degrees centigrade, is that? Yes, usual boring photo trail, a record of what the garden was like at that time. And of course I'm making my way down to the end of the garden to top up the bird feeders. No surprises there, everything much the same as it has been. A few leaves to be cleared up. Yeah, there's one bird feeder down. Didn't need very much food in it, but what else is there? Not a lot really, not much different than what it's been for days. And anyhow, I got a record of what it was like then. So making my way back up to the patio area near the top pond. and yeah, lots of work needed there. Just a question of having the time to do it or having someone to help. So back into the lounge and out into the front garden, and a little bit of work done on Homer. He's still a little bit deflated, and you find things to be tied up better. And then I thought, some timer switches. June thought he might be a bit too noisy for people with the noise of that fan going all the time. Well, June's putting out the bird feed at the same time that I was out the back. After midday now. Yes, there's one of the bird feeders. She says you have to shake that one. Right, so we're off by the look of it, in order to pick up from Screwfix those timers, so that we can arrange that the fan is not on all the time, or rather the hair blow that I'm using. So first of all, we're making our way through South Ascot. Yes, got a bit of work going on there. So get to Screwfix. Didn't take very long to get all I wanted there, and so thought, right, well, I was still after some basic plastic piping of the right size, and we thought, well, whether we might get it in the middle of Ascot, in Ascot Hardware. It's worth looking. And yes, June had a little bit of problem parking. Anyhow, I did come away with something, which was some rather large Jubilee clips, but I thought, well, they can always be made smaller easily. So now we're off to Wicks at Knapp Hill, past a few landmarks that mean something to some of the family, and perhaps something more to a few others. So middle of Sunninghill, out on the road over the border into Surrey, I think that is, from Berkshire, is it? I get mixed up. And over the motorway into Chobham, or the outskirts of Chobham, past the Chobham Club, over the stream, past the church, and we get to Wicks at Knapp Hill, or Woking as it's called, I think, and came away with those, which was the closest I could find to what I was wanting. It was basically some pipe to make it easier to fit the flatulent fairy on a pole. Coming back through Chobham and over the stream, yes, past the pubs are the main landmarks, aren't they? Great if they've still got their names. Over the motorway, right, approaching Sunninghill now, into Sunninghill, yes, and onto the A30, over the level crossing. I think that photo went off by accident. Oh no, I was trying to get pictures of the estate. Right, about to come into Armitage Court. Arriving, there's Homer on guard duty. Still needs some work on it. And not too easy, but anyhow, flatulent fairies in the games room. Close pegs might be a solution for stopping air leaking out from him. It's not a very good solution. June's watching tennis from London, not Wembley. That's another site. And I decided to take a walk down. I would imagine that'll be for lunch. So yes, past the boat, the robot boat that is, and down into the village, past the Comrades Club with its Christmas tree and the broken fence at 1 Charters Lane, and into the Blend and Brew. Yes, enjoyed my meal there, and what's else? Well, into the Comrades Club. Oh yes, enjoyable time in there, I remember. all to do with who the guys are, including the particularly young guys, with their minding grandparents or parents or whoever. Oh, that was, yeah, women's rugby that was on. Obviously late in the evening now, looks like I'm going into the Flame Kebab. And yeah, enjoyed my meal there. And yeah, in conversation with a guy and his young kid, not that far away. At, where are we now? Making my way home, I guess. Oh, I don't know. It's difficult to keep track, really. Well, that looks as though we got home. I say we, Robin, and there's Homer. June's watching the tennis, of course, just for a change. Yeah, 7:30 it's coming up to there. And looks like I'm now thinking of going down to the village again. Guess so. There was a lot going on that day. Yeah, gone past the full moon now. So, into the Comrades Club. Of course, they had a karaoke evening. Didn't get many pictures, but everything was thoroughly enjoyable. This is where I think I got a message that Juba was bored. I enjoyed my time in the Flame Kebab dancing with Juba, and well, Juba was filming this, and thoroughly enjoyed it. No music, I've removed that for copyright reasons. Yeah, blame Juba for that. That's right, blame Juba for that. And yeah, that was Noah taking some chairs back into the Comrades Club. I spent a lot of time there then because it was the karaoke evening, and there was some confusion there. I thought I had to give a little poem, but not to worry. Meant I got home a little bit later than I would have done normally. And so arriving back, Homer's still there. Hello, Homer. And into the house, so I'm guessing that wouldn't have been much different, about 11:30. Yes, there we go, 25 to 12. And I got here, anybody could see. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. I warned you they would be long photo trails. So what we're going to do now is go back through the house and run into material that was shot probably, God, goodness me, bit of oil needed on that, I think. Material that was shot a couple of years ago, and shows the same thing there, no change there. So the material was shot on the subject of global warming and the prophetic words of James Lovelock, and Robin's experiences with the DVLA, Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency. Yes, that's an improvement in the kitchen, isn't it? Been there some time. So I'm now going to run in that, yes, memories of things like memories of Sicily and Sardinia. Unusual village, that. So I'm now going to run into that earlier material after pointing out the expensive Renoir that appears quite a lot in the pictures. Yes, I'm shooting this on the smartphone. I haven't got anything better to do it on. And I think that old material starts about here. Now, what I put on the screen, because global warming is rearing itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert, shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels, to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelock said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired, happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet, because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes. That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worried for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request, but when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent, and of course the DVLA collects a lot of money. And there are probably other things as well. But as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded, we've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday, that'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen, and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha, and here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive. And through into the lounge.
So, time to wrap up this video. Oh, looks like I can see a pussycat. Yes, that one's Toadie. What are you doing, Toadie? You checking what I've been doing? Oh dear, looks like I left the tap running. Oh, I better turn that off. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm going to rush off down the garden now because I didn't plan it this way. But there we go. Yes, I'd left the tap running. So, no, it hasn't filled this up yet. No worries. So, run back up the garden again. Try not to trip over. Yes. Hello, Toadie. So, as I was about to say, yes, it's quite difficult without a selfie stick or something. So to wrap up this video, it only remains to say, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.